Hello everyone, this is ilm-setu and today we are going to discuss the concept of growth and development. To begin with the concept of growth, so it refers to the quantitative measurable increase in physical size and body parts. ये tangible changes होते हैं, for example height, weight, bone density and organ size. These changes follow predictable patterns and can be documented using standardized measurement tools. For example, हम बच्चों का growth chart height नापते हैं on the wall. If you remember the scale we use to mark the height of a child growing. And now some definitions given by prominent psychologists जैसे कि क्रो एंड क्रो ने स्ट्रक्चरल एंड फिजियोलॉजिकल चेंजेस पे एम्फोसिस दिया and Herlock ने change in size, proportion, disappearance of old features and acquisition of new ones का concept दिया relating to growth. And Watson ने increase in the size of the body and its parts. Ross is growth is a function of the organism rather than of the environment. So basically Ross ने purely hereditary definition दी है. स्किनर ने बिहेवियरिस्ट पर्सपेक्टिव दिया है ग्रोथ इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ कंडीशनिंग एंड री but primarily physical in nature. Now, some characteristics of growth. First, it is measurable. We can track through medical tools like growth charts. Sequential, it follows a specific order. जैसे कि a baby sits before they stand, a baby crawls before he walks. Time bound, most physical growth slows down or stops after adolescence, as we know, and it is irreversible. Once a child grows in size, it does not decrease under normal conditions. Now, for example, this is an example, a child growing from 100 centimeter to 120 centimeter tall or gaining weight from 20 kg to 30 kg over 2 years. These are normal conditions. These are concrete manifestations of growth. What is development? It refers to functional and behavioral changes. The most important part is behavioral changes in a child. It encompasses how a child thinks, communicates, moves, and interacts with the world around them. It is qualitative and continuous throughout life. Definitions given by Harlock. Development is a progressive series of changes that occur as a result of maturation and experience. Crow and Crow ने कहा it is concerned with growth as well as changes in behavior. Herlock ने कहा it means a progressive change in the individual from infancy to maturity. Giselle ने कहा it is the process by which an individual grows and changes throughout life. James Trevor ने it is the continuous process of change in an organism from birth to death. However, what change? He didn't mention it. Anderson, development does not consist merely of adding inches to one's height or improving one's ability, but is a complex process of integrating many structures and functions. So, the most comprehensive definition is given by Anderson, and these are some of the characteristics of development. First, it is based on qualitative change. It encompasses maturation, skill, acquisition, and increasing complexity in capabilities and behaviors. It is multidimensional growth. It includes physical coordination, cognitive abilities, emotional regulation, as well as social competence. Progressive mastery. How it is progressive mastery? A child learning to speak their first words, think critically about problems, or manage their emotions effectively. So, जैसे जैसे हम practice करते जाएंगे, we get mastery over it. So this is the part of development, a characteristics of development. Now we are going to discuss the types of development. First is cognitive development, which involves learning, memory, problem solving. Emotional development, understanding and managing emotions. Social development includes building relationships, empathy and cooperation. Motor development involves fine motor skills like writing and drawing, gross motor skills like running and jumping. Then language development, speaking, understanding and using language. So development reflects the mental as well as emotional maturity of a child and is strongly influenced by their environment and experiences. Now, The last part is the difference between growth and development. Growth means it increase in physical size. Growth means increase in physical size of the body. Development means overall change in personality and behavior. Growth is quantitative in nature. Development is qualitative in nature. Growth has limited scope to physical. Its scope is limited to physical and biological aspects. Development, it includes physical, cognitive, emotional, social, and moral aspects as we discussed earlier. It is measurable. Growth is measurable. Height, weight, example, height, weight, and size, and all. Development, it cannot be directly measured. It is inferred through behavior. Duration, it occurs up to a certain age. Development, it is continuous and lifelong process. Now, direction, it is mainly outward physical changes. Development is progressive internal and external changes, both outward and external. Sorry, both internal and external changes. Growth involves growth is an automatic and natural process. Development depends on learning, maturation, experience, and overall environment. Growth, similar pattern for all individuals. Generally, we all grow in a same pattern. Development varies from individual to individual as we get different environment and we have different experiences, so we develop differently. Growth influencing factors are mainly heredity. Development, both heredity and environment influence development of a child or a person. Now, dependency, it is independent process because it mainly depends on heredity, and development, it depends partly on growth as well. Educational role, I think this should not be included because we can't say growth has limited importance in education and development has very much importance in education. We study both and both are needed. So coming to the example, it is increase in height and weight and organ size, etc. It is improvement in thinking, language, emotions, values, and overall personality. So today, this was the class and will be continued. The concept will be continued in next class. Thank you.